Well, I think we improved the team. We've added a lot of speed, and I think we've added some scoring. No secret, Matt Duchene, what he brings. He's a puck possession guy. He's got great speed. Good in the power play, holds on to pucks. So I think we've improved our game that way. It really solidifies our top nine. Craig Smith's been a proven scorer in the league. Veteran, good leadership. He's a good skater, also good speed. Sam Steele, same thing. Good speed, good young guy. We saw him against Minnesota, played against him a lot. He was a young guy that was a first-round pick at Anaheim and trying to find his way, and we think he's starting to show that he's getting better and better. So it's a young guy on a good contract.
He had good numbers last year,
good numbers, yeah. And then to make a lot of this work, unfortunately we had to trade Colin. That was tough, but it's part of the business. It created enough cap room to allow us to do this, and we brought Joe Hamley back to make sure we had those seven defense spots. So I think we increased our speed. You start talking about Rupe Hintz coming out, and all of a sudden the next shift out comes Matt Duchene. I think that really changes the look of our team a little bit. And we still keep our heaviness, with the bottom line, with the Faxes and the Jamie Benz and guys. We brought Dadenoff back. That was another move we made. So we've solidified that top nine, and I think we've improved our bottom doing it at the same time.
On Duchene, obviously the lineup's months away from that, but Pete likes to have two guys on each line that can take face-offs and do that. How much flexibility does that give playing with potentially Tyler, whatever the case may be, and position flexibility?
No, I think it's, Duchene can play center. We're actually fortunate. He can play center, he can play wing. And he actually doesn't mind playing the off wing. So flexibility there. Tyler's in the same boat. He can play center and play wing. So you got two face-off men there. You got two face-off men on the top line, Rupe's line. And we got two really face-off guys on Johnson's line. And then you got Radek Faxa, who's one of the top center, draw men, and Sam Steele takes draws also. So we had lots of flexibility there, lots of different options.
When Duchene, the buyout happened, what was the process? How quickly did y'all jump on that? And did that become plan A as soon as the buyout happened?
I don't know if it was plan A, but definitely all of a sudden, we're sitting here yesterday morning going through, what's going to be our, we already had our kind of all our players in order and stuff, but all of a sudden the waiver wire hits and you see, it's Blake Wheeler and it's Matt Duchene. So these are two guys that, potentially are targets for us. So we started going through our homework and what's the money going to be? How are you going to make it work cap-wise? And went through that process. Going through the process, we got hold of all the parties involved. Matt Duchene, when Matt was a free agent, must be about 4 years ago, we had talked to him. This was a destination for him. So he's always liked our operation, how we work with things here. Very fortunate. I got to know him. World Championships, I had him, so knew him well as a player and as a person. Know a little bit of his family members. And then Pete DeVore, same way. Pete coached him at the World Championships also. And Steve Spott, I believe, had him at the under-18 team. So there's connections there.
And Duchene, did that happen after? Was Wheeler in consideration as well? I know he signed for like $800 with 300 bonuses. And did Duchene kind of happen after that, after you saw it?
They really don't happen before. We're in with everything. You kind of go all in, and you don't know. Players are making decisions too where they want to go, but you really just go all in, and you get a feel for where they're at. We talked to a few of the players once we were allowed to do that, and you go through the process. And it's really not this guy's number one, this guy's number two. You go through the process, and you see where it all fits and who's got an interest and who doesn't, and you just start going away.
You've mentioned previously that you have a lot of guys that are knocking on the door, and then you go out and sign some veterans and some depth guys, and kind of what message does that send, or do you feel like there's any ways in which you've allowed for promotion from within, or?
Yeah, we think competition is good, and this is, first of all, there's going to be injuries. We were very fortunate last year. We've seen that, we've lived it. So we know there's going to be injuries. We've covered that, and we're looking forward to training camp. There's going to be great competition, and I guess it's a good problem to have. So we're open to whoever's going to be in the top 13, 14 on the forwards, and same in defense. Away we go. And we got flexibility, some on two-way contracts, but that stuff always works itself out. It always works itself out.
What's the mindset with the buyout player, and you've been there with Ryan? There does seem to be a little bit of transition that Matt might have to go through.
Yeah, no, it's tough. He signed in Nashville. I talked to him. It was a tough day for him yesterday.
We saw on TV. He really did look shook up.
He was devastated. He got the phone call in the morning and picked up the phone from his wife. She handed it to him, and they knew what had happened. It's tough. You sign somewhere. You commit 8 years, you're going to be there for 8 years, expecting you're going to be there for 8 years, you're a big part of the team, you're one of the top players in the team, and all of a sudden you're told it's over. So it's tough, and understandably so, and he's going to come in here. The good thing is he can come in here. We got a very good room. We got a strong room. I had a good conversation with him. Just come in and be yourself. You don't have to worry about leading the team. That's going to happen naturally, how you play, but the pressure, the weight on your shoulders, expectations, just come and be yourself. And I think that's what he appreciated. He knows we got great leadership here. We got good depth, different options to play with, and he's excited about that.
And then, you've seen with Craig Smith, he's killed this team before, and I know he's a different player now, but how much has changed in a year or two? I think he still had, 18 goals last year?
Yeah, I don't know if he had 18 last year, but we talked to people, that coached him, talked to some of the people in Boston, and they really they spoke highly of him. He's a veteran. He's scored. We've lived with him, playing against him in Nashville. He's scored against us, beat us many times.
Is there a change as far as he was a power play guy, and now is he a fourth line player, and does he have to change how he plays?
Well, that's what we're excited about. We got a lot of options here. We got guys that can move up and down now, and that gives a coach a lot of flexibility, either one, injuries or play and matchups. Do we need somebody? Sam Steele's in the same boat. Sam Steele last year came into Minnesota kind of as a third, fourth line guy. They got some injuries, and he was playing with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. So we know these guys can play different levels in the lineup, and that's important. And that's what kind of excites us, is we've plugged a lot of holes, and as situations arise, if it's injuries, if it's play, we know we can plug in different holes.
Do you think you hit better on the fourth line as far as scoring goes?
Yeah, that was one of our goals. We wanted to get a little bit more scoring, a little bit more puck possession on the fourth line, and it's no secret that these guys that we've brought in have all scored. So we think we've improved our team that way.
To the point about the young players, last year I think you mentioned that between Wyatt, Logan, and Maverick, you didn't want them on the bottom line. You wanted them top 9. Is that still the standard for them to make the roster, be in the NHL? They need to be top 9, not top 12?
Well, they got to be in the lineup every night. I don't really worry about what's first line, second line, third line, fourth. It doesn't matter. If you're in the lineup every night, you're playing, you're developing. But if you're sitting in the press box playing one of every 3 games, that's not good for their development. But the training camp and the exhibition games and the start, this all works itself out. It always does. And like I said, we just we got lots of options, and we think we've covered our holes that we had, and we'll go from there.
How do you look at the blue line? Do you feel satisfied with kind of where the sevens stand right now?
Yeah, it's real. Other than Colin Miller, he's out, and he had a good year for us. He was a big part of it. Thomas Harley didn't start the year with us last year. He's now a big part of it, and we're expecting growth from him, and we're expecting growth from Nils Lundqvist. If those guys grow as they should, we think we're in a good position to go from there.
How about Kivi Ranta? He'll be going someplace else?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. That's it's part of the system. Luke Glendening, we saw he went to Tampa Bay, and they are all a big part of this team. Luke Glendening, he was a big part of the dressing room and a good man. But like I said, we're just sometimes you got to make some changes, got to get a little bit better. And Luke appreciated his time here, loved how we treated him, and we just wish him all the best. Same with Kiwi. Kiwi's got a lot of history here. We go back to the bubble, the whole thing there. So big part of our team in that, but sometimes you just gotta. It's a tough part of our business, but he's a big part of the Dallas Stars. But he'll have to kind of move on.
With Duchesne, was it kind of right place, right time? He gets bought out. He's also looking for a 1-year deal to hit the market when the cap rises, and you guys are in a cap crunch. So did it all just kind of feel like the perfect time for that? Yeah, no, it all came together. Like I said, when that situation happened, and there's still a lot of movement going on right now. There's a lot of guys not signed yet, and it's a unique situation with how the cap environment right now, and the flat cap, the money available, teams that have the money, teams that don't. It really started to bog down, and players were having to make decisions. There's some guys that probably should be getting 4, 5, 6-year deals or getting 2-year deals, and it might be their decision or it might be the team's decision. But players have to make those decisions, and teams, we have to make those decisions too. But in the end, it's all going to work out. Did you guys re-engage with Max Domi at all, or is there interest?
We were talking Max all along. We do not have room now. I'd have to make a major trade to make that fit. But I was in contact with Max all along. We were trying to make things fit. Just unfortunately, it just wasn't the right fit. And the flexibility of Matt Duchesne, the 1-year deal, and at the money he's at, it was the perfect fit for us.
On that note, on Wednesday you said you would expect to see maybe some trades even kick off into next week or even later into July, more so than normal. Do you feel comfortable with where you guys are? Do you expect to be done, or are you still kind of listening?
Well, we're always listening, but we're pretty comfortable where we're at. Now, does something come up? There's still going to be a lot of things happen. There's a lot of players still out there that aren't signed. There's some other trades that are going to happen. Let's see. But the good thing is I know we don't have to rush in anything. We're not sitting here. I'm not coming back here tomorrow saying, oh, boy, I've got to make sure. That's where the Colin Miller trade was a big move for us. That might have been something I might have to do over the summer to be cap compliant, was to have to move about $2 million. But this allowed that to happen, and it all came together.
How do you feel about your third goalie situation? Is that something that you want to address externally? Are you comfortable with your internal options? Because we saw Wedgwood go down, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, we're pretty comfortable. We've talked about that internally, talked about some other options. Not the goalie market is very, very tight and very dry. There's not much out there. It's so we talked about it internally. Right now, we don't think there's anything that's any better than what we have. Remy Poirier now is going to be a second-year pro. Matt Murray's really his second-year pro. Got his feet last year. Got his feet into the door. And he understands what it's about now. So we'll stick with what we have now. We'll keep an eye on it, but we're pretty comfortable with what we have.
Since we got you here, how about having all the prospects? Because you guys have worked really hard to get this group.
Yeah, no, it's great. Great to have all these guys here. You come right, it's been a kind of a whirlwind here. We come right from the draft. A lot of these guys have shaken their hands and haven't got a chance to get to know them. So now we get a chance to get to know them now. And it's kind of nice. And we'll get through today. We haven't had much chance to really watch them, but we get these other people out here working with them. So now with this kind of over the next 3 days, we can spend some more time with them. So it's good.
We talked to Maverick today. How important is it to be here on a second year and see what they've learned in the AHL, or even just being here for 1 year and going back to junior?
Yeah, no, it's important, and a little bit of leadership thing for him too. He's been through this before, and he's going to be talking to some of these younger kids, and that's part of the development is your leadership also, and chance for him to get a jump start on his training, for the rest of the summer.
Is it fun? I mean, like he talked about how I don't think he took it as seriously, or he had injury, and that he's much more motivated to make the summer count this year. It just seems like you're a guy who enjoys the process of watching a kid develop.
Well, it was kind of, we've gone through 2 or 3 years because of the COVIDs and different, the World Juniors was in August all of a sudden. Yeah. Maverick was part of that. So these guys, last year he went to the Memorial Cup was later. He was in the Memorial Cup, and all of a sudden we had this camp. He was a little bit banged up, so we told him to take the time off. Then there was that World Junior camp, and you got to go to that, and then
with the
all of a sudden we're starting the year. So he's had a chance to go back home, just relax a little bit, get himself healthy, and now you can put a full summer in. So it's been a crazy 3-4 years. All the timing has been off for all these schedules. Now we're back to normal, so it's good.
Speaking of guys working with him, Ben Bishop out there, what does he bring to the organization, and obviously goaltending, but he was working with everyone out there. Just what does he bring as a whole?
Well, that's his new role. He's going to be out on the road now. He's our contact. He's our eyes and our ears, and his. Almost will he be a Hall of Fame goalie? We'll see over time. He's got one of the best save percentages, goals against percentages ever. One of the top 5 or 10, I think, in the league. To have him represent an organization, going in to watch a young player play that's in Rimouski, Quebec somewhere, and sit down with him after a game and talk to him and mentor him and stuff like that's huge to their development. And he's got a great presence to himself. He's got the resume to back it up, and he's got a passion to do this. He loves it. So to have that person out there representing us is a big thing.
Do you expect him to be more involved with what's going on in Dallas here, or kind of expanding everywhere?
He's on the road.
Okay.
He's going to be mentoring. He's out watching all our young kids.
Okay.
That's his job. That doesn't mean he won't be in Dallas, and he'll be down in Austin also. But his main thing is going out, seeing all the young kids, spending time with them. This is kind of the job that Rich Peverly did 3-4 years ago. He's he's going to be going up. He's going to Windsor. He's going to college games somewhere. He's out on the road and he's evaluating these kids. He's recommending what they need to improve on, and he's a sounding board for them.
And I know Reeser is a huge deal with all this, but I know Andre has a lot of respect for Bishop as well. How much of a tool can that be for Jake as he grows?
Yeah, Bish is there. They got a good relationship. Even if Ben wasn't working for us, I think they'd be in touch. They've built a great relationship, a good friendship, and he's watching our games all the time, and I know they talk all the time, so it's important.
And how's Liam doing? And is he going to be taking the ice at all in development camp?
He's doing well. He just got cleared to do light skating, so he will not be on the ice here. Okay. But the doctors looked at his injury. It's healing well, and he just, with 3 days ago, first time he went on the ice. So we're not going to put him on the ice here. We're just going to work on him off ice and get his program for the summer set up, and then he'll go back home, and then he's coming back over here.
For
playing with
NHL.
For NHL camp. Let's see where he's at, see where it goes.
Great.
Great, well, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody. All right,
to see
take
you.
care. Yep.